Hi Capricorn, welcome to the channel and welcome to your reading for July 2023. This reading is intended for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Now, we have a short reading, but an intense reading. So let's get into it. What is really the focus of this month is, especially if you're a Capricorn rising, but this will affect you regardless, your 8th house. You have Mars and Venus transiting your 8th house, and then you have Venus there for a bit longer than Mars, and uh, Venus is going to retrograde in your 8th house, and your fear of intimacy and your fear of receiving what you deserve is really coming to the forefront. So this is really highlighted this month. How do you feel when people give you things, when you don't have to take on all the responsibility all the time, when people are there to help you? As I'm seeing here, there's this tendency to run away. There's a tendency to run away from help. You want to do it on your own. Capricorns are known for having the weight of the world on their shoulders. They take the burden of everyone else. They want to carry that burden until they just can't anymore. And that really oftentimes leaves you burnt out, stressed, depressed, and feeling like there's not really anywhere to turn because you are so bent on being self-reliant and not wanting to burden anyone that you close yourself away into darkness. And maybe sometimes you convince yourself that there's nobody that can help. There are people there, but there's this fear of intimacy that keeps you avoidant from seeking help from others or working with others. You're always feeling like you should take on more of the burden. You don't want to ask people for help. You want to take on more of the work. Or if you feel like people put a lot of work on you, you don't ask them to maybe share responsibility and things like this. You just go with it and you run with it and you do the work, and it leaves you burnt out. It leaves you in a very dark state of mind at the end of the day. And now you're really being forced to reflect on this. Where in your relationships, in your communication with others, do you restrict yourself based on this fear, this avoidance, this fear of intimacy? This fear of intimacy keeps you from leveling up in many ways, keeps you from leveling up in your relationships. It keeps you from having deeply connected, fulfilling relationships, and it keeps you from leveling up in work. You can do a lot on your own, but you will build great things if you allow others to come in. And you also can't be doing all the time. Sometimes it's your turn to receive. And the reason that you get burnt out is because you run from help, you run from intimacy, you run from connection. And in turn, you also run from money. You run from receiving what is owed to you, receiving what you deserve. You run from it. And you constantly chase building more and more and more. You have to create more. You have to work harder and earn, and it's like you're running from receiving what you've already made, receiving what you've already created. And you're in this loop of creating money and then running from it, creating friendships and then running from it. So your intimacy is extremely highlighted this month. It's intimacy with yourself, and it's intimacy with others, and it's what do you think that you deserve? Because you live in the space of feeling like you don't want to burden anyone, feeling like you have to take on the world, and it leaves you feeling burnt out, and it leaves you depleted. And then due to this avoidance, you won't allow yourself to be replenished. You just break down, and then maybe you give yourself a couple days off to break down, and then you get up and you do it again, and the cycle repeats again, and you don't let anyone help you. And because you're not accepting outside help, you're doing it on your own over and over and over again. You're also blocking yourself off to money that you're owed, money that people want to give to you, money that you've earned. We're talking like passive income, things like this. I feel like you have this mindset that you always have to be doing, you always have to be working, you always have to be active, taking action, and you're never allowing yourself to sit and let things come to you, sit and let the effort of what you've already put in come to you. And the more you put action, the more you're moving away from what you've already created, and you're not allowing to sit and let the benefits of the things you worked for and the things you created come to you. So that's what's highlighted this month. This is a very intense time. It's scary. It's scary. As somebody who has a Capricorn stellium in their chart, I know this is scary. I know what it's like to work and work and work and shy away from others and shy away from help, and have these kinds of fears. It's a really intense time where you have to, especially once Venus goes retrograde, you have to look. You're going to be met with many times this month where people want to get close to you, and at first you're going to run, and then you're going to have to ask yourself, okay, why am I running from this? What what sparks this fear in me that makes me want to run? And then I feel sad that I'm lonely. I feel sad that I'm burnt out. I feel sad that I can't achieve the wealth I want to achieve, the security I want to achieve, the relationships I want to achieve. Why is that? So multiple points this month you're going to be triggered through the external world, through work, through relationships, and you're going to see yourself run or have the urge to run from it, and you have to identify that feeling and ask yourself why it's there. You have to go. The eighth house is not necessarily a happy like rainbows and sunshine place. It's this Eight of Swords card. You have to go in and look at that reflection of yourself. Look at some of the darkest parts of you and see why you are triggered into this fight or flight mode, why you are avoidant with people, why you are avoidant with money, why you will never let yourself sit back and enjoy what it is you've created before you can even receive the money from your latest endeavor. You're already on to the next thing. never sit still, you never stop, and you never allow others to help you. So this month is really you're going to be triggered by the external world to show you what that sense of fear is. And you're going to have to look in the mirror and figure out, go deep within yourself to find out how to overcome that, or how you can begin to overcome that. And you're going to see where you've put this wall of illusion up between yourself and others, where you have this avoidance gets in the way of your relationship. So you might, act like you have a deep connection with somebody, but really you're being very surface level, or you're not letting them help too much and you're going to do most of the work. Or if somebody is slacking off in your group, you're not going to say anything, you're just going to do most of the work because you could do it better anyway. Things like this. You got to start being honest with yourself and open yourself up to letting others do things for you. Open yourself up to receiving money, to not just receiving money that may be owed to you, or inherited, or things like this. That definitely something that can happen this month, but opening yourself up to receiving what you've already created. You build all these uh, great things, and you might even set up passive income streams and things like this, and then you're wondering, why don't these ever work out? Why? And it's because you run from the idea. Our material reality, especially money, it's more than just working and earning. It's directly tied to our emotions and our sense of security. And you don't feel secure in your relationships, you don't feel secure receiving. You only feel secure when you're doing for yourself, when you're in control in this way. So you're being asked now to surrender that control. You've already made all the money, you've already done all these things, but you have to let yourself sit back and receive it. You have to release yourself from the burden of your own mind, the burden that you need to take responsibility for everything. You've already done so much, and you run away and go to the next thing before you can even reap the benefits of what you've created. Or you might be saying, I've set up all these passive income streams or something like that, and I'm not even receiving any income or whatever. It's because you're not, emotionally, you're not there. Because our currency is directly tied to our emotional self. It's money is in this world tied to our security. And if you don't feel secure receiving support from the universe, support from the outside, support from others, if you feel like you have to bear the burden of everything, then you're blocking yourself off to receiving the support that you need. So when you can release this burden and allow yourself to look into the depths of yourself and ask yourself, why am I afraid? And release this burden of having to be the one to do everything, of having to always take action and take action, and having to, you have to be so rigid all the time. You can't be lax, because if you're relaxed, then that's when insecurity can creep in, right? So you need to practice this month being relaxed, allowing others to support you, allowing the universe to support you. They want to support you, and they owe it to you. They feel that they owe it to you because you do so much and you never let anyone do anything for you. So get to the bottom of this. Do the self reflection. When Venus goes retrograde, you're going to be forced into this reflection of your fear of intimacy. and see how that's related to your money and your relationships, and release that burden and open yourself up to receiving. And that's when you can get to the bottom of that and slowly start to open yourself up to allow yourself to be relaxed and allow yourself to feel supported by life. Allow yourself to, you don't have to be rigid and be constantly on the lookout, be hyper vigilant, be supporting yourself. Allow yourself to be relaxed. Allow the universe to support you. Allow people to support you. They want to support you. You've done so much for them. Now is the time of getting what you're owed, getting what you've worked for, receiving what you need. So this is going to be a huge breakthrough for you guys, and it's going to shift your life dramatically once you open yourself up to a different way of giving and receiving, and really allowing yourself to relax and feel supported by those around you, feel supported by the universe. Relax knowing that you've already built the structures. You didn't build the structures in your life so that you could feel rigid all the time. You built these structures so that you can relax and allow others to relax with you. All right, guys, that's what I have for you this month. Thank you for watching. If you would like a personal reading, I will link it in the description. And I will see you next time.